Good morning, everyone. Today is the 8th of May, 2019. I'm Roy Potter, and this is an extemporaneous Potter expositor. Uh, I got some information on Twitter the other day, and I wanted to check into it before I talked about it. Again, I want to thank the people that send me information. I so much appreciate it, and I don't mean to be short with anyone who wants to banter with me about topics and all of that. Just understand that when you get into really detailed historical, political, religious information, it's just too much to go back and forth on Twitter with it. Whether a regular Twitter, the threads just get laborious, and the DMs are the same way. So there's a proper place for that. And I don't mean to be short with anybody. It's just really hard. I got another message. A guy had sent me some information that he's in Wyoming, and he'd like to meet and all of that. But unless I really know who you are, it's very rare that I'm going to respond to you or click on a link. Okay, so don't. I mean, that's just common sense on Twitter and other places. So don't take offense at it like that. He got really up. This one guy got really upset and said, "Oh, you won't even talk to me. You won't even respond to me." Well, sorry. I've explained that that's not something I do. I've had some very bad experiences allowing myself to be too open to people on Twitter, and I'm not going to do it anymore unless I thoroughly vet you, and I'm not going to take the time to do that most of the time. But as far as people sending me information that I can then go, if you send me the link, I'm probably not going to click on the link, but I will go and look for it myself. Okay, so I just wanted to let you know that information. Hello, everyone, as you come in. I'm glad that you're here. I know this is kind of rare, for me to come on Wednesdays, but this information is pretty important. What I got, first of all, let me talk about what FBI Ray did, the director of the FBI. Hopefully, the sound is okay. Let me bring it a little closer so you see all my fault lines and all that. Senator Lindsey Graham mentioned it on Sean Hannity the other night, and I was going to bring it up, and I'm going to bring it up now. With all of the things that are going on, why would FBI Director Wray classify just last month, April 2019, a communication between Christopher Steele and the Department of State? And apparently, it's not to be declassified until 2041 or 47, something like that. What? With all that's going on, Ray is still trying to cover things up? Of course, of course. I just can't believe that Trump doesn't give an order out to knock this nonsense off. What in the hell is Ray doing as director of the FBI still? Why? See what I mean? And of course, Sean Hannity's still out there saying, "Oh, there's only 0.1% of the entire FBI, and they're all at the top that are bad." No, that's not true. But yeah, I'm not going to go there today. I get tired of hearing that. The point is that even with all that's going on, the FBI is still covering up information. Remember, national security has nothing to do with your safety or the safety of the country. It's a way for the criminals to cover their tracks. And it's because the Congress and the President and the courts have not properly reined these criminals in who claim to be law enforcement officers and intelligence officers and agents. Just wanted to bring that up. Again, so Christopher Wray, the director of the FBI, classifies a communication from Christopher Steele, the notorious guy with the Steele dossier, the PP dossier, a communication between him and the Department of State. Who are you trying to protect, Ray? I hope you go to jail. Trump's got to start acting. Again, I told you, there's no doubt that Barr has the draft, or at least the initial submission of the IG report already. So we better see some real action in the next 4 weeks. I gave April 1st as the deadline, as most of you know. I've got to push that forward a little bit, obviously under the circumstances. But this is getting asinine. The Democrats are calling for the total the total suppression of the First Amendment, the repeal of the Second, coming after your guns, saying they're going to kill you if you don't give up your guns, your semi-automatics in particular. They do that because they destroy the institutions, they destroy your history, they destroy your culture, and then they start taking your guns, and then they take your food. Well, they might do it the other way around here because of the circumstances. The point is, this is a communist infiltration, leftist Marxist. This is what this is, and if we don't start calling it for what it is, we're gonna be in a really bad situation here, as I've been talking about. Trump's got to aggressively enforce First, Second, and Fourth Amendments. Okay, I won't beat that dead horse. The disturbing thing that I saw, remember I said on this thing with Iran, you know, sending the carrier group to Iran. When that came out, I sent a tweet to President Trump and I said, fire Bolton. And then I got this information that I'm going to discuss here in just a minute, verifying it, okay, that Bolton had set this thing up. It's a false flag. Wait till you hear this. Some of you may already know it. It's kind of leaking out into the mainstream media at this point. But Bolton's the character, and he needs to be fired as well. He's a demon. So, this comes from, you can check it out for yourself. And again, thank you, the person that sent this to me. You know who you are. You listen all the time. Thank you very, very much. Okay. Israeli News Live. Israeli News Live on YouTube is where you go to see this. It's a couple that does this news update. They have contacts in Israel, well, all over the Middle East, and Iran, and other places. They're very good. I've found very few things that they've said that find possibly not vetted correctly, but that's not necessarily always necessary for a news agency. Sometimes you have to just give the information, just kind of like a warning order, just kind of like, hey, this could be happening, so look out. So anyway, I want to go here. The title of their video, again, it's Israeli News Live. The title of their video is Bolton's Iranian thugs busted planning attack on U.S. naval forces. What did I say about Bolton? So again, when I got this, I forwarded also to the White House demanding that Trump fire Bolton. Like he's going to listen to me. I guess he has a couple times, but regardless, we've got to get rid of these neocons, these Trotskyites, and these deep staters like Bolton, who are about destroying everything. So the bottom line on this situation is this: there's a thing called, they're an Iranian opposition group called the People's Mojahedin of Iran. They are actually an opposition group to Iran. In other words, a CIA-funded, controlled organization that Bolton put into motion to make what their plan was is to go buy the same speedboats that the Iranian armed forces have, the same kinds of that have caused us problems before, and then to attack U.S. forces and blame it on Iran. Do you see how this works? Do you see how this works? Raise hell about this. Raise hell about it. We have enough problems without causing things like this. And I told you what the diplomatic solution is. The diplomatic solution is for Russia to become our ally. That's the diplomatic solution. Stop this Cold War nonsense that the military-industrial complex insists on. I know the Russians can be bad for us, but it's because we're bad for them. Does anybody ever consider that? It's the old bully in the schoolyard again. Hell, we've got worse people in our government in our country than they do in Russia. Okay, you all know how I feel about that. I wanted to bring that up because my point on Bolton the other day was right on target, and this is, it's like I say, it's starting to leak out in the mainstream media now, so I wanted to cover it. Okay, now to a little different topic. Those of you who don't want to talk about the spiritual, religious stuff, you know, you can go ahead and leave if you like. But I saw so many questions yesterday I couldn't answer because of the time. Well, not so much the time element. There are some other issues, but I wanted to touch on it today again on this thing with Lucifer, because it really is critical to understanding why I have so much distrust for how the Roman Empire influenced our beliefs today, even in things like the New Testament. I'm not going to argue with anybody about it, but what I want to do is I want to talk Hebrew and Greek for a few minutes, okay? Not in Hebrew and Greek, but how it impacts what we're seeing here, okay? The mere fact that the monks, who were whom? Catholic priests, Catholic clergy, right? People say, well, no, it's the infallible word of God. It's exactly true. But I gave you an example yesterday of where they changed the name Hillel ben Shakar to Lucifer. Do you understand how significant of a change that is? And yet people want to say that the Bible is the infallible word of God when men have made all these changes. And as Jesus said, when I was talking about the stakes, about the Noahide laws and those types of things, when Jesus said to the scribes and Pharisees, he says, you give for commandments the doctrines of men. You go against the law of the Torah, against the law that God has given, and then you make it worse. You increase it on these legalese areas, making for commandments the doctrines of men. So in that one example I gave you yesterday of Lucifer, of the name Hillel ben Shakar being changed to Lucifer, shows you in that only that one instance how men have monkeyed with the scriptures. And you can't deny it, because if you go look at it in the Hebrew, you'll see it. Now, I've got some notes here. I'm going to show them to you. You won't be able to read them, but I want you to see them. Remember, I mentioned Isaiah 14 verse 12, where it mentions Hillel ben Shakar, okay? That was made into Lucifer. I'm going to talk about the sun in a minute too. And then there's another one, Revelations 22:16, where Jesus is talking through a proxy, really. And he's saying, I am the root and offspring of David, and the bright and morning star, okay? I want you to pay real close attention to hear what the wording is, because this is important. He doesn't call himself the son of the morning. He just told you he is the son of David. Ben David. He's also called himself, remember in the New Testament, he says, I am the son of man. That's Ben Adam. Actually, what he said is I am the son of Adam. But the translators changed it to man because they didn't want to associate him with the fall of Adam. But he called himself Ben Adam. The first time he actually called himself Ben David is here in Revelations. But at any rate, he didn't deny it before, but he wasn't pushing that. Other people did. Remember the demons and stuff said, thou son of David, why don't you do this and why don't you do that? But he never said, I am the son of David. He said, I am the son of man. Ben Adam, son of Adam. And they changed it, like I said, from Adam to man. But at any rate, he's also Ben Elohim, the son of God. Okay? He's not a Ben Shakar. He's a begotten being. He's a son of God, a son of David, a son of Adam, a son of man. He says that himself. What is Hillel ben Shakar in Isaiah 14:12? He's a created being. He's a son of the morning. It's translated actually as a sense of brightness, son of the morning. He couldn't even name himself a bright star because he's under some restrictions, but he imitates as close as he can. Remember, he'll tell you 99 lies to get that, or 99 truths, I always say that wrong, 99 truths to get you that one lie. So let me tell you what the word is in Hebrew for a bright star. The word is kokab. Kokab, not Hillel. Hillel has the intrinsic meaning of accuser, and I'm going to show you that in my notes. I don't know if you'll be able to read them. Intrinsic idea of an accuser, of somebody who's exacting justice, of lashing you, okay? inherent in the name, but it's not a bright, shining star, despite the translation. It's more of a reflection, more of a dim light, more of a sense of brightness, but not in and of itself, unlike the kokab. Now, in Revelations, Jesus, if it's in the Greek, right? The original is in the Greek, and if you translate that we have, frankly, in my opinion, it was at first in the sacred Hebrew, but then was translated into the Greek, as so much other was. So it's hard to say. Well, it's not hard to say. I am relatively certain that when Jesus says that he is the bright and morning star, he is using in Hebrew the word kokab. The Greek word in Revelations is aster, which means the same thing. So aster means a bright star, okay, which is the same meaning as kokab in Hebrew, which means a bright star. So I'm pretty sure that he's not calling himself in Revelations a halal, a sense of brightness, a dim light, reflected light. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Those are important concepts. The first being Jesus calls himself the Ben David, Ben Adam, Ben Elohim. In other words, a son of beings. Hillel ben Shakar can't go that far. He wants to be the only begotten, but he is stuck with calling himself the son of the morning, not a created being. I'm sorry, not a begotten being, but a created being. Do you see the difference? Very important. And the other point is that the star is bright, kokab, and aster in Revelations. It's dim and reflective, almost like a moon type of brightness in Isaiah 14:12. Those are the important differences that you need to understand, okay? And to understand also that this is proof that the scriptures were monkeyed with by the Catholic Church, at a minimum, okay? All right. I'll say one more thing before we move on. Somebody mentioned yesterday about the difference between Son, S-U-N, and Son, S-O-N, and I brought up Malachi 4:2. I was right. I thought it was in Malachi, but I wasn't sure Micah or Malachi. It's Malachi 4:2. And I just want to make sure you understand that scripture in Malachi 4:2 is not talking about Jesus Christ. It's talking about the literal Son. And in Hebrew, it's the name is Shemesh, and it means literally son. Okay, in the Greek, it would be Helios. Okay, so I just want to make sure that you understand those things. So there is something very important about the Son, and there will be healing coming through the Son of some sort or another. It may already be happening. As I said yesterday, that might be why they're spraying to kind of slow that down. Okay, yeah, I know about the school shooting yesterday. And I'd cover that, but it's being covered so many other places. I try to go on things that aren't in necessarily the mainstream news. Sometimes I'll go there, but often I don't want to, because you're really getting that elsewhere, and you can make up your own minds. What do I think about it? I think our whole system is so corrupt, and actually, Stefan Molyneux covered it very well in a video he made just yesterday or this morning. I think it was yesterday. And basically what he's saying is that we have these leftist Marxists running our institutions, educational institutions, etc., government, everything, and they're poisoning the minds of the young. It's about controlling. It's about imprisoning them. It's about making them fear. Oh, you've only got 10, 12 years to live because the world's going to end. These kinds of things. This is going on in our school systems. So I'm not going to go there. This is all being run by the leftist Marxists, the Democrats, the Democrats. Listen to Cory Booker, Senator Cory Booker, and what he said. Oh, we're going to take all the guns. We're going to take everything, and if you don't turn them in, we're going to come and arrest you and take them. And if that doesn't work, the next step is to kill you. And that's exactly what Swallowswell said. That's what we're looking at. So Trump is on the right track. He's just got to get going. He's got to get off his ass and get going. Or they're going to pull this off. And Alex Jones has been talking about that a lot lately. Okay. Let me show you these notes so you can see kind of the things that are going on here, and I'll kind of narrate a little bit. Again, I have horrible handwriting, so good luck. Here we go. All right, I'll pick this up so you can see it. Okay, well, that's bad. Okay, I'll do it this way. Writing is not good enough. Okay, Isaiah 14:12, Halel. This is how it looks in the Hebrew. This is a hey, a yod, and a lamed lamed. This means a sense of brightness. Okay, but it also means accuser. It also means lasher. It also means, justice twice. In other words, it's not a balance of justice and mercy. It's two justices. When you look at anything to have to do with God, whether in the Hebrew or in the Egyptian, you'll see a shepherd's crook. That's the thing that the shepherd uses to protect the sheep and to kind of guide them along. You'll see a shepherd's crook, and you'll see a flail. Well, this is the flail in the Hebrew, okay? And double time, that shows that there's no mercy in this individual, this being, this concept, okay? Very important to understand that. Then we have down here, I thought I wrote Kakab here somewhere. Oh, there it is, right there. This is Kakab. This is the star, and this is what it looks like, a bright star. It's Kaf, Vav, Kaf, Bait. Okay? And it has the meaning, and actually this is where we know that these celestial orbs are in fact tools of God, because it's in the hands. Do you see that? Hand, that's what kaf means. It means the palm of the hand, and Jesus has us in the palm of his hand. Palm, vav, palm, bait. In other words, this is our home. This is our true home. Do you see that? Because that's what a bait is home. So, in other words, it's a connection of, in the palm of the hand is our home. The sun has healing in it. The stars have healing in it. Okay? And then here's the Hebrew word for sun, shemesh. Remember, the first son of Noah was Shem. Okay? Shemesh, Shem. Very important concepts. All right. Well, my notes aren't too terribly good, but I think that gives you an idea of what I'm talking about. All right. I've been going on for a little too long here, 20 minutes, but I wanted to cover that again today. This is important information, both to show how the scriptures have been monkeyed with by the Catholic monks and clergy, the Pope too. And other people have used them, have changed them too for their benefit. Certainly the Roman Empire had an influence on that, and I wanted to show you that that's what's happened here. Okay? Again, Lucifer was a name that was substituted by the monks for Hillel ben Shakar, because they were afraid that people would confuse the bright star, son of the morning in Isaiah, with the Revelation statement by Jesus saying that he is the bright and morning star. But the important thing to remember here is that he's not calling himself the son of that bright star of the morning. Okay, son of the morning. He's not calling himself a son of the morning, like Hillel is. Ben Shakar means son of the morning. Ben Shakar, Hillel ben Shakar, bright star, son of the morning in Isaiah. In Revelations, Jesus says, I am the son of David, the son of Adam, the son of man, the son of God. And then he says, but I am the bright and morning star. Interesting, important to know what's going on, okay? You don't give us long enough, Roy. You're very kind. But I'm going to eat breakfast. You know where I am, right? I come out and I eat breakfast, and that's what I'm going to do here. They take good care of me. Revelations was a 66, 73, 80 Judean war commentary. Okay, I'm not going to disagree with you, Gene Lloyd Bradbury. I'm not disagreeing with that. That's not the subject matter this morning. Okay, I mean, I could take you through the entire thing verbatim, and we could have a long discussion. I appreciate your scholarship, and I understand what you're saying. It's very similar to the War Scroll and the Dead Sea Scrolls, right? Right? I know that. I understand that. I understand that completely. The point that I'm making here is that we're talking about two different concepts, a Lucifer, Hail Ben Shakar, and a bright and morning star, We're talking about a difference in those two concepts. And we're showing that the monks did, in fact, change what the scriptures said. Okay? Learn to sling and you'll always be well armed. Love you, Roy. Okay. I'm out of here. I would take a lot of questions this morning, but I really got to get moving. And hopefully this information is of some interest to you. Both the military stuff, political stuff we're talking about, and this whole thing about how the scriptures have been monkeyed with and the meanings of these things. All right? All right. Hey, take care, everybody else. And James, thanks for being here, and everybody else, thanks for coming. Let's watch what's going on. We're up against some horrible people in the government. The IC is still fighting. This thing with Ray is proof of that. They're still fighting. They'd still take Trump out if they could. I fear if Barr has had an epiphany and has changed, and if Trump isn't timid, they're both in trouble, as are all of us. Sorry. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Take care. We'll see you next time out here.